a long day of school. You've just gotten a month's worth of detention because of a tantrum you threw on your peers. You hear your parents cursing and arguing at each other again.
I never want to see your face again. Me neither.
An increasing number of children across the world experience family instability due to divorce and separation. Nearly half of the married couples in the United States get divorced eventually. Since it occurs so often, it is easy to forget just how difficult and traumatic divorce can be for children. I'm sure you're wondering now, what are the effects of divorce on children? Research has documented that parental divorce is associated with an increased risk for psychological issues in children, including poor grades, school dropouts, substance abuse, and depression. As a result of this, children of divorced parents are also more likely to engage in risky behavior, live in poverty, and experience their own family instability. On the other hand, many children whose parents become divorced are resilient and exhibit no obvious psychological problems. Even so, it is important to realize that even resilient young people from divorced families often report painful feelings, such as worrying about events along the lines of graduations, weddings, and many important occasions where both parents will be present. As E. Lockhart implies, divorce shreds the muscles of our hearts so that they will hardly beat without a struggle. Divorce is often described as a painful experience. This quote captures the stress and the heartache that a divorce can bring. Along with the psychological issues, divorce can be a very hard time for a family. Children commonly respond to divorce with feelings of fear, aggression, and hostility, particularly towards their parents. According to Sylvia Crystal, her quote on Goodreads states, "I am a divorced child of divided, uncertain background. Within this division, I suppose the fruit of their love no longer exists. It happened nearly 40 years ago. Yet, to me, nothing is sadder than my parents' divorce. Remembering it was like yesterday. The trauma had been vividly remembered by Crystal. This shows how, even after long periods of time, children still think about their parents' divorce as if it is the worst experience they have witnessed." The effects of divorce can also cause a child to have an unhealthy relationship with the parent. Children can become puzzled or frightened. For younger children, trying to understand the changes of the family become distracted and confused. Toddlers can become more aggressive or fearful with their parents' divorce. Frequent emotional drifts are common for toddlers. 1 minute they play happily and are upset a few minutes later. As Judith S. Wallerson expresses, children raised in extremely unhappy or violent intact homes face misery in childhood and tragic challenges in adulthood. Not only does divorce affect the child's relationship with their family, but it also affects their social life. It is unfortunate that they often distract themselves from friends and family during certain periods. As a result, children may experience self-decline and self-confidence and an increase in feelings of loneliness. Their parents' divorce and their daily focus can mean one of the effects on children would be seen in their academic performance. The more distracted children are, the more they aren't able to focus in school. As Butterfly research describes, children of divorce are more than twice as likely to have serious social, emotional, or psychological problems as children of intact families. As the quote implies, studies indicate that children who experience the dissolution of their parents' marriage often face unique challenges that can lead to difficulties in their social, emotional, or psychological well-being. Statistically, the incidence of these issues among children of divorce is over twice as high as it is in children whose parents' marriage remains intact. Imagine the scenario from the first paragraph happened to a classmate. They had just come into school late, crying, and are having a rough time focusing in class. All they want to do is stay away from home and be witness to some peace and quiet. After knowing all this information about the effects of divorce on children, what would you do to try and help your classmate?